The screaming started before the first bell. Students rushed through the hallway of Crestfall High, phones out, backpacks slung low, sneakers pounding the tile floor. At the center of the chaos, a small girl stood trembling, her hands smeared with blood, her expression vacant. Her name was Riley Tan, and the blood wasn't hers. It was Derek Collier's. Behind the row of lockers, something was terribly wrong. A trail of red smeared across the gray metal, leading to the janitor's closet. When staff arrived and opened the door, all they found was a shattered phone, a bloody palm print on the wall, and silence. Derek Collier was missing. To the school, it was a mystery. To the students, it wasn't. Everyone knew what had been happening to Riley. And no one, except maybe one person, had tried to stop it. Riley had transferred to Crestfall High just 3 months earlier, a quiet freshman with a stiff posture and shy demeanor. She was Korean American, 14, with straight black hair always tied in a low braid and thick square glasses that kept slipping down her nose. She loved art, science, and walking the long way home just to avoid the bus. But to her classmates, Riley was simply the weird girl. She became the primary target of Kinley Sharp, a tall, sharp-tongued junior with bright red acrylics, perfect makeup, and a phone always in hand. Kinley was vicious, always with a cutting joke or fake smile, and she made sure the people around her followed her lead. That included Derek Collier, a cocky 17-year-old football player, white 6 feet 1 inch, tan with sandy blonde hair and a smirk that made teachers second-guess their instincts. He thought making Riley cry was funny. He tripped her in the cafeteria, spread rumors about her being possessed, and called her creepy Tan to her face. But the worst were the videos. Kinley had started a private group chat, Freak Files, where she and her friends uploaded clips of them tormenting Riley. One of them, Zara Patel, an Indian American senior with a piercing stare and biting sarcasm, had filmed Riley being locked in a supply closet for almost an hour. They laughed when she sobbed and screamed to get out. That video was sent around the school. No one reported it. Except for Miles Behrens. Miles was a quiet sophomore with messy curls, dark eyes, and a notebook always tucked under one arm. He loved drawing monsters and hung out in the art room during lunch to avoid people. He was the only one who ever sat next to Riley. He offered her gum once. Walked her to the bus when she dropped her books. That made him a target too. Loner Patrol, they called them. But the bullying got worse. 3 days before Derek vanished, someone spray-painted the word, void, on Riley's locker. The next day, she found her art portfolio torn to shreds in the trash. And the day after that, she didn't come to school at all. Until she showed up with blood on her hands. Campus security detained her immediately. She didn't resist. She didn't cry. She just stood there, frozen. Detective Dana Kessler from the Crest County Sheriff's Office was called in. A 42-year-old Latina detective with graying hair and a tight braid and a stern, no-nonsense presence. She'd handled school threats before, but this one felt different. "This girl didn't kill him," she told the principal after the first interview. "She looks like she saw a ghost." But the evidence said otherwise. Riley's fingerprints were found on the wall. Her DNA under Derek's fingernails. And when they checked her backpack, they found a small black notebook filled with disturbing sketches, faces scratched out. Students crying. Names written over and over, then violently crossed out. Derek. Kinley. Zara. Miles? Detective Kessler reviewed the school's hallway security footage next. At exactly 7:39 a.m., Derek is seen walking alone. He stops, turns towards someone off camera, says something, then flinches. His body jerks sideways. The lights flicker, and the footage cuts out. It goes black for 26 seconds. When it returns, Derek is gone. Only his phone remains, smashed on the floor. And then Riley enters the frame, slowly, her head lowered. Her hands are shaking. Kinley didn't show up for school the next day. Her car was found in the student lot unlocked. Her purse and phone inside. When staff opened her locker, they found the word confess carved into the metal door. Zara went missing that night. The school went into lockdown. Parents flooded the district with complaints. Police surrounded Crestfall High. The media latched on, calling it the Crestfall Vanishings. And Riley? She still hadn't said a word. Detective Kessler returned to the school after dark. She retraced the path from the lockers to the janitor's closet, flashlight in hand. That's when she found a crawlspace vent cracked open behind a stack of boxes in the supply hall. Inside were 4 more notebooks, each one filled with detailed sketches, students with twisted limbs, blacked-out eyes, mouths wide, and silent screams. Kessler flipped through the final page of the last notebook. It read, "Silence is loyalty. Loyalty is sacrifice." And under it, a single name. Miles. Her only friend. Before she could process it, her radio chirped. "Detective Kessler, do you copy?" She answered. "Go ahead. Another student just disappeared. Name is Miles Behrens. Last seen an hour ago." Kessler turned back toward the hallway. The lights flickered. Somewhere down the corridor, a locker door slammed shut. And then everything went still. Detective Dana Kessler stood at the edge of Crestfall's west hallway, staring at the word, sacrifice, scratched into the floor. 4 students missing. One of them found chained beneath the school. And at the center of it all, a silent girl, still drawing in her holding cell. Riley Tan hadn't said a word. But her sketchbook screamed. Dozens of notebooks had been pulled from the crawlspace under her room. What looked like twisted art, bloodied faces, empty hallways, dangling bodies, was actually mapped. Coordinated. Labeled. One page showed the school's layout, including an area no one had mentioned. The boiler room. Detective Kessler ordered a blueprint pull. That's when they found it, a sealed-off tunnel system dating back to the Cold War, forgotten by staff and buried under decades of dust and concrete. But Riley had drawn it in perfect detail. There was no way she should have known it existed. Within an hour, Kessler and a tactical team were beneath Crestfall, flashlights sweeping through rusted corridors. The air was thick and freezing. Graffiti covered the walls. Every turn revealed something more disturbing: school desks arranged in ritual circles, broken locker doors marked with the names of the missing. And then, they found Derek, shirt torn, wrists bruised, chained to a pipe in a small chamber. His voice was hoarse from screaming. He whispered Riley's name over and over. Further down, they found Kinley, lying unconscious beneath a blinking emergency light. A chalkboard above her head read, "Teach them how it feels." In the next corridor, Zara was found curled up in a corner, alive but shaking violently. Her arms were scratched raw, as if trying to claw something invisible off her skin. She wouldn't speak. And then came the biggest shock. Miles Behrens wasn't missing. He was running the entire operation. In the deepest part of the tunnel, they found his setup, a makeshift surveillance command center. Monitors showed live camera feeds from classrooms and hallways. Audio loops of students crying, screaming, begging. Flash drives contained months of footage: the bullying, the slurs, the pranks, the teachers turning a blind eye. One file stood out, a video where Miles stared directly into the lens. "Everyone thought Riley was the problem. But she was just the canvas. I gave her the paint. They made a monster, and I handed it the mirror." He planned everything. The drawings. The disappearances. The silence. Riley had been his pawn. He convinced her they were teaching the bullies a lesson. She didn't know the plan involved real chains, real trauma. She thought it was a performance, art to make people listen. But when she tried to stop him, he threatened her. And when she wanted to confess, he told her no one would believe her anyway. 2 days later, SWAT found Miles in an abandoned warehouse outside town. He surrendered without a word. He wore a Crestfall hoodie with voids stitched into the chest. He didn't even ask what charges he was facing. "I already sentenced them," he whispered. Miles Behrens was charged with kidnapping, false imprisonment, assault, and psychological torture. He received 65 years with no chance of parole. Riley Tan was placed in long-term psychiatric care. No charges were filed against her. As for the victims, Derek, Kinley, and Zara, they survived, but none ever returned to Crestfall. Their families relocated. Their names faded from the news. Crestfall High revamped its bullying policies. New cameras, anonymous reporting, mental health staff. But even now, no student uses locker number 108. The one that still bears a name in spray paint, Void. If you stayed till the end, comment Void and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel.